We're here to try 7 Brew. Me for the second time, Anthony for the first time. We're here because we're curious about why everyone's talking about it. There's a lot of hype behind 7 Brew, and it only started in 2017. So in the last 8 years, they've had amazing progress as a company.
Yes. They've grown to, I think, over 300 locations, something like that. There's 7. I counted. There were 7 of them in the Northeast Ohio area. One of them being in Cuyahoga Falls, right near Kent, which is the one we're at right now. We're in the parking lot of some. Oh, that's a Panera. We're in the parking lot of a
Panera right behind us.
We're in the parking lot of a Panera because there were no spots at the actual 7 Brew stand.
At almost 6 p.m. by the way. We're not shooting this in the morning when you would like normally get something caffeinated. No. We're shooting this in the evening.
And the drive-through line was like pretty backed up, so
we've already got something to think about here.
Yes.
You know, it started in Rogers, Arkansas.
Rogers, Arkansas.
Which is
supposedly a small town of about 70,000.
Debatable. And they only had 7 original coffees, but now they have such a huge, expansive menu. There's coffee, there's tea, there are these little like refresher type
things. There's smoothies, there's shakes. They've got energy drinks. Dude, they've got everything.
You name it, they've got it in a cup.
In 2020, they got acquired by a company called Brew to start expanding to an additional 9 locations, and then they got bought out again by Mr. Jimmy John himself, and that has been since rapidly expanding across the United States.
You know, that rapid expansion, it can only be because of such a big company, and a lot of the thing that is alluring to customers is that it's more of an experience. When you're driving through, you're talking to a person live, and there's always really great service, so it's very contagious.
Yes.
You want to go back, and you want to talk to these people, and you want to have that real...
7 Brew positions themselves very much so on the customer experience with short drive-through times. Their greeters will actually ask you about how your day has been going, supposedly before you take your order. You do not wait when you pull up to the window to get your stuff. We're gonna make sure that this is all tried and true. And they also do not offer any indoor seating, so you only can go through the drive-through. There are benches, I believe, outside. I don't know if the Cuyahoga Falls one has benches or not.
We can take a look.
I'll take a look, but
the one location that I went to was not this one, and there weren't benches that I could see.
Okay.
It was also early in the morning when I went, so maybe I was just too tired to pay attention.
And kind of like what Sophia mentioned just a second ago is that, you know, because they offer them more than just coffee, there's a lot that anybody can go for. Which is great for me because I'm not a personally, I'm not a coffee person.
I'm not a coffee person either. I'm an iced chai addict. I'm not afraid to admit it. And this recipe of chai is something that I've really enjoyed in the one time that I've had it. And I've thought about it and just been like, do I make the 20-minute drive out to Cuyahoga Falls just for one specific iced chai? And today we're doing that.
Go ahead and get in line and get our stuff. We're not going to record it because we can't film a moving car, but we will take note of our experience and then report back after we get our stuff.
See you in a little bit.
Yep.
We're back.
Got our drinks.
Took about like 15 minutes-ish.
Somewhere around that number.
We got backed up at a certain point, but once we were taken care of, the wait was pretty short, I will say.
Yeah.
What did you get, Anthony?
So I got what they call their 7 Fizz. It's essentially sparkling water. And I got watermelon syrup as like my flavor. So it's kind of like their equivalent of like a Starbucks refresher almost.
Kind of.
You can also get whipped cream or regular cream in it. I did not do that.
No, that's kind of like the Utah whatever.
Yeah. Mormon soda stuff.
Mormon soda stuff. Yeah.
We ain't Mormons around here.
We're not. I fear I'm a Catholic. I got him. This is a medium.
Oh yeah, here's this one.
This is a medium iced chai.
It's pretty big.
With oat milk and brown sugar syrup, which is what I usually get at Starbucks. So I wanted to do a 1-to-1 comparison of what was going to be happening here.
And the total for about the 2 of these was like
$9.50.
$9.50, something like that. Yeah.
Which is impressive.
Impressive.
Let's try them. Think them.
And sink them.
This is good. It's obviously different than like a Starbucks or a Dunkin', and I think that's a good thing. With my 1-to-1 comparison, it's definitely good enough that I'm like, okay, I could get this on an off day if I really wanted to, especially knowing that it's a lot more affordable.
And also for my drink specifically, if you're somebody who really doesn't like sparkling water because it's too carbonated, this is not that carbonated. It's pretty.
There's some bubbles in there, but not a lot.
No, I don't really taste the carbonation a whole lot. So, I mean, yeah, I would recommend this. And honestly, I'd recommend the place.
For the prices that you're getting at, from what we can assume, this is definitely a good alternative to Starbucks or Dunkin'. It's more cost effective. Yeah. And I will say the service was not as friendly as advertised.
Yes.
However, they are busy, so that is something that we'll obviously take into account.
Yes, and I think that's the only, I would say, downside to this place, at least from our one-off experience that we've had so far, is that it was a bit slow. But honestly, I feel like any place you're gonna go is probably gonna be a bit on the slower end.
If it's this popular, this is to be expected.
Yeah. And we think the reason why that this place is popular is just because of the great service and the affordability and just general buzz around it.
It's something new. Starbucks and Dunkin' have been around for so long that it's hard to, like, beat that standard. And 7 Brew has done that in the way that they're serving people and in the way that they're presenting their products, which I think is really interesting. That something like this has been able to develop the staying power to fight against Starbucks or Dunkin'. Hello?
If you happen to live near around a 7 Brew, I'd recommend going, if you have not gone.
It's definitely worth a try. I think there's something for everybody, and there's always, you know, you're not going to spend too much money if you don't like it. Mm-hmm. So, let's see what's next.
On to, yeah. just cut it.
We're done.
Got it.
That's enough.